Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Wow, my hair messy. Had your dinner already?
No.
No.
Wow, not yet. I just scrambled and stuffed some quick dinner. Yeah, let's see. We haven't gone live yet, right? We gone live already. So fast.
Yes. I think he want to do recording in YouTube.
Oh, so actually maybe because of that, in front we might actually cut it a little bit, lah. Correct?
I don't know this one.
So today we're gonna talk about sample economy to gauge current economic condition.
Not value versus stock, man.
Sorry?
Not value versus stock, man.
Value versus stock. Oh, okay. Value versus stock. Yeah, I saw there's a few discussion. I also 不太记得哪一个是最后一个。Richard asked he was hand over the host to who? Is it Daniel?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so today we have some slide.
Last minute prepare one.
Yeah, but quite nice, these slides.
Yes, Daniel.
This one is for us to do recording, right? Like no one live is actually going to see this now, right?
Actually, unless you want, actually we should share out this link one.
Oh, so when we don't share means nobody know this is happening, lah. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Right. Yeah, I think, I mean, it works that way. So I attended the course lately. Remember the one that I posted in the group chat, right? And I saw the way how they did their marketing is first one, then it raises people's alertness towards us faster and easier. Daniel, you are saying something, is it? We can't hear your thing. Then should be okay, right?
They're just saying it's live already. It's on
Yeah,
M-Core
it's
channel.
live already. Hello.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Let's start. I think everyone's ready.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yes. Live.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If there is any ladies, tonight we have some entertainment. It's my pleasure to be here with you as moderator for tonight in our fourth Yamcha section about investing or economic. On behalf of M-Core and Lucent Asset Management, we appreciate you taking time off with your busy schedule on Thursday night to join us for this session. We have lined up for you to be a meaningful or engaging session. I believe we all come here for tonight hope to gain one or two few insight about investing in among our discussion. If you agree with me, maybe you can type yes in the comment. So today, our topic back to a very fundamental debate across investing world. I think if anyone has been a little bit investing experience in your investing journey, this topic I think will not new to you, which is the topic is value versus growth stock, which is more prominent in today's investing world. So actually, in terms of value investing, most people would associate value investing with Benjamin Graham, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Philip Fisher, and etc. In terms of concept or philosophy, most investors would understand value investing as buying a stock or a business when its market price is selling below its intrinsic value. In simple terms, it means buying something that is worth more than its market price. What most people are not aware is the type of personality that value investing demand or is commonly common associated with. Given the innate characteristic of value investing, this successful or time-proven investing philosophy is a strategy premised on the simple fact and self-effacing realization that no one can predict the future accurately at all the time, not even most of the time. This prediction could concern a company future sales or earnings, or they could be in relation to forecasting the whole economic variable such as GDP, inflation, or interest rate, or is commonly practiced by investors the future direction and trend of stock market. In terms of traditionally, the typical definition for value stock or value investing is the investor will look for companies that have fallen out of favor but still have good fundamentals. The value group may also include stock of new companies that have yet to be recognized by investors. And this characteristic, maybe my partner here will tell you later. So whereas compared to in terms of growth investor, right? Growth investors seek companies that offer strong earning growth, while value investors seek stocks that appear to be undervalued in the marketplace. Because the two styles complement each other, they can help add diversify to your portfolio when used together. Growth stock represent companies demonstrate better than average in terms of earning gain in recent years. They are expecting to continuing delivering high level of profit growth. I think later also my another partner will discuss with you about this growth investing. Next slide is a little bit some history of value versus growth. I will not talk much into it. It's in simple terms, which strategy, growth or value, is likely produce to higher return over the long term. I think this one is a very large room for debatable. And the battle between growth and value investing has been long going for many years already. Some studies show that value investing has outperformed growth over an extended period of time on a value adjusted period. But without further ado, maybe I should let my partner to tell you in his opinion. The first partner I will pass to is Daniel. Maybe you can give us a little bit insight about what do you think about value versus growth, especially maybe you can talk about more toward value investing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian, for the good introduction. Yes. So value stock. Well, I'm actually onto the value stock, and what I'm gonna share today is about some of these companies, like what do we associate with value stock? Things like companies like low growth car manufacturing, for example, or airports, or airlines, and even this public transport, expressway. Yeah. But before that, Adrian, can you share screen here, because I cannot share screen?
Wait.
Yeah, you allow.
You can share.
Yeah. Okay. Still cannot. You have to enable me to share screen. Yeah, because I prepared some slides here to share with you guys about the value stock, and particularly the airline industry itself. Yeah. So as we all know that currently the airline industries, we are facing a lot of headwinds, and people are thinking that should we ever look at airline industry ever again? It sinks so much. Seriously, those airlines. And
you can share, right?
Yeah, let me try. Oh, now I can share. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah. So as I was saying, the airline industry has been hit hard by the recent virus outbreak. You can see that news headlines like this are just common among our news channels. Airline passengers falls significantly. Here says like the airline passenger fall below 100,000, and at 100,000, that kind of people is already 95% below the level a year ago. That kind of significant decrease in airline passengers. And at the moment, they are still trying to figure out new rules to adopt to this virus outbreak. How do they handle it? Things like that. Do they need to put empty middle seat, wear masks, and stuff like that as well? Yeah. And not to mention our famous Warren Buffett is also dumping airlines. That already gives a lot of headwinds in a sense. Yeah. So, but what about this air cargo? Airline industry itself, it has many things. It has airlines, passengers, for air freights, for airlines manufacturers like Boeing, Airbus, and airports. KLIA is one. Changi airports, even Beijing airports and stuff like that, those airports. Well, those are actually direct ones at on heat. When virus comes, they are the one that has a lot of passenger drop. So I myself, I'm not looking into that. Personally, I want to look into air cargo, and I want to see if there's an opportunity in that. Air cargo is what? This is about air freight. When you go to e-commerce, when you buy something, you see a small little air flight icon over there, right? Now that's air freight. So you get the items through air freight. The guys on the other side send it to the plane and they deliver it to you. So the good thing about air freight versus sea freight is that it's much faster, probably 10 to 20 days, but a few weeks probably. Yeah, but it's much faster. So e-commerce is one of the tailwinds that is driving this air cargo, air freight growth. And you can see the next one. This is a projected market share for the e-commerce. You can see that the growth is 7.9% over the years. This is projection anyway, take it with a glimpse of salt, but yeah, just an info, there is a lot of room for growth. I mean, even you yourself probably are already using e-commerce now to buy stuff, and you would prefer the air freight.
Hey, bro, don't mind interrupt you a little bit. You are lagging a little bit. Maybe, don't know whether is it something that's running on your screen. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I've closed everything already. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. Thanks for a reminder. I hope this helps to fix it. Cool my laptop down a bit. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so as I was saying about the freight thing, e-commerce is driving it, and of course, all we know that this U.S.-China trade war is actually damaging the trade around the world. That includes air freight as well, because air freight will also ship in goods, even trains. They will share with street as well. Just to give you a glimpse of what type of cargo they will be shipping. Anything's possible now with big Airbus. Yeah. So what's the prospect here? What's so good about this air cargo? Good thing is that, I mean, first thing, do you believe that human will actually survive this virus? If you do, what would they need next after this virus outbreak? But this virus outbreak has caused a lot of disruption in the supply chain, and people are talking, you know, even iPhones are short of components to manufacture their phones. So what do they need next? They will probably need a lot of supply then to actually replenish. Of course, that depends a lot about the consumer demand and stuff like that. But I tend to believe that there's a kind of normalization going on in a longer run. In the shorter run, yes, virus and these sort of things would actually damage it and damage the demands, and people would not shop, and a lot of negative news. But would airlines really die just like that? Just ask yourself, would you actually stop traveling around the world? And would you actually stop buying things through online? And how do you get those things? Yeah, you can just question yourself that. So I do believe that there will be a demand after that. And that is also part of the reason why I look at air cargo. And my main purpose here to present the air cargo is to show you that, hey, not all value stocks here, which includes airlines, are dead. I mean, now everyone going into growth stocks, right? But not all value stocks are dead. You should probably put an eye on to value stocks as well. Some others have value stock, including airlines. Okay, without further ado, I'll go into this one. Today, I'm going to bring you to look at one of the company in Asia that's going to handle this air cargo as well as passengers for the airports. Yeah, it's actually SATS. Some of you may heard of it, some of you may not. But this is the company that actually support Changi airports. It is considered as the Asia's largest food and gateway services operator, facilitating with facilities spanning across 60 airports across Asia and Middle East. Now it has both food solutions and gateway solutions. And food solution is mainly catering for flights and non-airline customers, including those corporate events and stuff. Gateway services for airport functions, covering everything from you checking in to lounge to even cargo handling in short. Now, why I think it's worth looking into this company. Now, it's not a buy and sell recommendation. You do need to do your own due diligence though. Why I think it's worth looking into this company. It's a Singaporean company where you can, for Malaysians, you can actually, after MCO, by the way, after MCO, get over to Singapore, take a view of how it looks like in Changi Airport. You can say that they basically own the Changi Airport in a sense where they control about 80% of their ground handling and catering business. Yeah, and it is actually supported by 2 automated in-flight catering centers. Center 1 with 64,000 cubic meter and center 2 with 40,000 cubic meter, that kind of size that you're looking at. And all the automated check-ins and internet check-in functions that you have enjoyed in Changi Airport actually provided by them. In terms of cargo-wise, cargo handling-wise, it has in-house this software to actually help them to manage it. Software and also the sorting equipment. So this helps them in a very increase the productivity and efficiency in sorting out these cargo mails. Well, without these facilities, imagine that the operators have to actually move the mail bags in and out of the cargo between the warehouse and the airplane. You know, move here and there. There's lots of time waste in between. But this machine itself is sort this kind of mail bag in one location. Yeah. So it does a lot of saving in time and faster as well. Yeah. So the differentiation that this company actually portray is that it used the technology to actually drive the productivity, because it's using the video analytics technology to look to actually analyze the customer flow and to alert staff on the meal replenishment, sorry, and using robots to assemble meal trays, automation of the production line, as well as the cutlery sorting and packing system. Yeah. The operating metrics are here, but basically what they're showing is the improvement in terms of productivities, in terms of value added per employee. You can see it improves along the years. And of course, that brings to increasing salary as well. What they're saying is that they're using less employees to deliver the same value, or put it in another way, more value extracted per number of employees. Another thing that's very interesting about this company is that for this company is growing to a size that it needs to continuously acquire subsidiaries. Put more focus on the M&A segment strategy in a sense. But what it does differently for this company is that after they acquire the subsidiaries or acquire some shares in associates, it doesn't just leave them alone. They want to actually take part in their operation so that the whole chain, the whole information flow within the company, including the subsidiaries and associates, are effective and efficient, and it doesn't slow down in the way. So it gives a very good value to the end customers, despite the numbers of associates in different places. Yeah. So
Daniel,
yeah.
Sorry for interruption. Are you saying actually this airline or this cargo company is a value stock, or is a very typical value investing for in terms of your opinion?
Yeah. Typical value investing. Well, airline itself. How I think about value investing is that it is in a way is undervalued, and usually it is a stock that has not much of not so much of sexy growth as compared to growth stock. That's why you call them growth stock anyway. And why I look into this airline stock is because I feel that now at this crisis, it makes them undervalued in a sense that as compared to the potential growth that it could have. That is why.
At the same time, I mean, do you mean airline equal to value and or technology equal to growth? Are you pinpoint in terms like this?
I mean, not clear cut, but yeah, I would think it in a way that way, because of the growth associated with the growth stock, the growth rate itself.
Yeah. In this way, right? Actually, why not we hear something from about growth investing in terms of growth stock? Maybe from Darren.
Actually, you know, I like to keep the conversation simple, and then we you know, go a bit less technical. If you don't mind, I like to share screen also. Let me see, how do I?
Yeah, you can share in the middle. It's a share screen button.
Yeah, so you can see my Google, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So also for the sake of you know, some of our audiences, they may not be very well versed in how do we define the differences of so-called growth versus stock value. So maybe I'm just gonna enlarge this, right, and then put this so-called definition in front of our eyes first, so that everyone can visualize it, right? So I think tonight the topic is about growth versus value, growth stocks versus value stocks. Now, based on Google's definition, is that growth stocks are considered stocks that have potential to outperform the overall market over time because of their future potential, while value stocks are classified as stocks that are currently trading below what are really worth and will therefore provide a superior return. Now, there's a very fine line there, in my humble opinion, where one is probably you can see that they are on a rising trend, they are riding a wave. The other one is probably, you know, fluctuating and somewhere, and there's deep value in it, simply because the market hasn't discovered them. They haven't really made themselves very well known. They haven't really scaled out, but they have been very, very profitable, and they are positioning themselves to be scaling up in due time, in the near future, within the next couple of years per se. So having said that, right, and also linking that back to airline related companies, which Daniel just shared, I feel that sometimes it depends on situation, right? Because right now we are going through COVID, and because of COVID, a lot of things are kind of like stopping the world from going through its usual daily operations. And because of that, yeah, many things are like plummeting now. But because they are plummeting, depending on their behavior and the reaction, right? Talking about stocks in general, those that are hovering below the potential, suddenly now they become so-called value stocks because they're undervalued. So if I may, you know, SATS, for example, in my humble opinion, I leave it for discussion and debate with the team, Adrian. So in my humble opinion, right now, I consider SATS as a value stock instead of a growth stock, because they're just below. They're just, you know, very, very far below where they are supposed to be. I don't know whether this opinion is right, but you know, feel free to jump in if you think that this opinion is wrong. And I think it would be beneficial also, you know, to share with everyone, how do we see growth stocks versus value stocks, especially now with the presence of COVID, pre and post COVID kind of a situation? How do we properly classify these stocks? Also, I think there is a deeper link towards the business performances and what do you call that? The business growth behind as linked to the industry. So assuming there's no COVID today, assuming there's no COVID, business goes on as usual, the demand maintains the same, if not, it continues to increase, then yeah, I think, and assuming there's no plummeting in share price, then yeah, I think, would you then consider SATS as a growth stock because it continues to go on that trajectory? What do you think?
You asking the team or?
Yeah, you're asking me, is it, Darren?
Well, I mean, it's open for discussion.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, because I think what we did is we want to talk about growth stock versus value stock today, correct? And then so you highlighted one example, SATS, which if I hear you correctly, what you're saying then is SATS today, in your opinion, is considered value stock or a growth stock. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. How do you classify that? Yeah.
In my humble opinion, at least, I mean, even the term value and growth itself is quite subjective. Like, I may think that is a growth, and you may think that is a value. So anyway, in my humble opinion, I would think that SATS is actually a value stock that is undervalued now at
so you are saying
growth potential.
So you are saying in the context of COVID, right?
In the context of COVID.
Assuming if there's no COVID and nothing that just happened. So in order for everyone to visualize that, right, let me just put SATS share price in front of us first so that everyone can visualize. So assuming there is no COVID, do you consider this as a growth stock? For argument's sake, yeah.
That is a very interesting argument. Okay, then, I mean, for me, I would still think that is a value stock lah. Simply because that the growth rate is not as sexy as it could be. I mean, as compared to the other growth stock that we typically associate, like tech, growth companies in tech. Those are typical growth stocks. I would still say that this is a value stock, even though there is no COVID-19. But how do you think, you think that it would be a growth stock if say?
Yeah, my humble opinion is assuming there's no COVID, right? I would feel that this is more of a growth stock than a value, but because of COVID, now it becomes a value stock. That's my humble opinion, lah. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian. Yeah.
I in a little bit. For me, right, I want differentiate stock. For me, personally, I want differentiate stock either value or growth, because for me, right, value and growth are together one. Growth is a subset of value. And without growth in business, right, how is the business compound its value? And without value, right, how is the business can grow sustainably? So, which is for me, right? In the other context, right, because everyone investing is because of the mispricing, you perceive and you hoping once you invested, whether the share price or the business fundamentally value can improve over the time, then which is ultimately due to the increase in share price. So this is the very fine definition for me in terms of investing. And maybe I can quote also from Charlie Munger. He say this thing, all intelligent investing is value investing. It's about acquiring more than you are paying for. So in order to categorize as investing, meaning you must value the business in order to value the stock.
So there is this question, right? Over here in front of us, value or growth stocks, which is better? Terry, what about your opinion? How do you see this differently, or do you actually feel like they are the same in same kind of a philosophy behind?
Well, in my humble opinion, will be for me, I treat these two terms as a different context. Growth stock is something that I quite agree with your point of view, which is growth stock, which is something that for some of the company, it tends to the public, it will be outperform the public market in a short terms. While on the value stock, it will be for longer term of investor who are looking for consistently growth over the years. This is how I look on it.
Yeah, it then backs to my point that actually this value and growth stock is quite subjective in a way. But today's discussion is about are all value stocks actually a bad choice of investment? I mean, given that the current state of COVID-19, or can we actually find some hope in the value stocks? And are all growth stocks actually outperforming? I mean, now everybody is putting in money in the growth stocks. Tech stocks like Microsoft, all this all goes up. I mean, tech stocks is part of the growth stock, but there are also other growth stocks as well. And what I'm saying is that people are more noticing on the growth stocks than on the value stocks. So the question is that are the value stocks really dead? So that's what I'm trying to point out, and give some examples that hey, there is still some hope in the value stocks itself. Yeah. But maybe Darren, what you can do, maybe you can elaborate a bit on the growth stock side, and do you really think that the growth stocks could continue to outperform the market for an extended period of time?
That is that's a big question, right? And really, if we are talking in high level terms, if you are to look at, maybe for purpose of discussion, I am going to just flash, say for example, Apple, right? For companies like this, they have always been on a very exponential, almost like a J-curve kind of trajectory. And they've always been tremendously growing. Arguably the largest company in the world with most amount of cash, and potentially even larger than some governments per se, right? And some even say, even if they fail to produce 10 years of products, they can still be around. They can still survive. That's how big, right? They've grown into. So personally, expanding on what Adrian has shared, right? That growth and value comes very closely, hand in hand. And it's very difficult to draw the line. But to elaborate on that further, I feel that firstly, sometimes that depends on industry also, right? And also the season that we're in, and also the era that we're in. Your question asked me whether can they continuously grow and outperform the market. I feel from a business and also from an entrepreneur point of view, one of the main criteria in order, because business is war, right? You're constantly at war. One of the main criteria in order for an ideal situation for a growth stock or a company to continue remain as a growth stock and a company, they must have innovation. Number one, they must have innovation. Number two, from a business perspective, they must always plan for succession planning in the company, because essentially what is company and stocks all about? It is the people who are the asset and the engine that's behind. Even if you have a wonderful business model, even if you are there at the right time, at the right place, the right industry, the right product, so on and so forth, but if the people that's powering it behind are not of the right kind of fit, mentality, culture, and technical expertise, the company can also, you know, plummet, especially in terms of its share price, since we're talking about shares, right? If you don't mind, I'm just gonna point out one example. For example, right, just for the benefit of audience, we're not suggesting anything, and we're not saying a company is good or bad. But what you're seeing in front of your eyes right now, as I'm flashing, is this company called Jumbo Interactive. And just to give a very brief introductory about this company, it is a company that leverages on gambling, but yet using gambling as a platform to raise funds for charitable causes, for very good causes. And it's happening in Australian environment. So if I may actually make I zoom out a little bit, you can see the description on the right. Yeah, it is a reseller of lottery games in Australia under agreement with government license. So it's perfectly licensed, very legit, and it's doing well, right? Financially, if you look into its financials, it's profiting, it's doing well. But why did it plummet? Simply because the founders, one of the founders of the company, starts selling almost completely all its shares. And when you have someone who is not arguably very committed to making the business a success, even if it is an employed group of professional management, how do we make sure that the people behind continue to commit themselves to create value constantly, even if the business model is a wonderful business model? Yeah, so my simple answer to your question is, it depends on the engine, which is the people, which is the asset that's powering the company behind. Yeah, from my humble opinion. Yeah.
I think that's a very good point. Thank you, Karen and Daniel, for your input. And in my I think in addition, right, actually everyone, I think every investor has his own very fine line or definition in his what is value or what is growth stock. I think there is no universal definition for either these two terms. And also at the same time, right, in my very humble opinion, I also think value investing doesn't mean low P ratio or low P ratio or low price to sales ratio or high dividend yield is equal to value, or high PE ratio or simply seems very expensive stock seems to is a growth. It's a very subjective and very vivid debate. However, what we want to draw here is, as an investor, most important is you got to have the business acumen analysis in order for you to invest into the stock, and based on your stock, on your business rational analysis decision. This is the ultimate. I think this all of us ultimately want to bring this message to everyone, to all of the audience. So with this slide, I think we are very much at the end of this topic. Let me Darren, you can share the screen again. Darren. Yeah, maybe I re-emphasize again on my side. Actually, I have my last slide. I emphasize again by this great investor and also a great role model of mine. All intelligent investing is really investing, acquiring more than that you are paying for. You must value the business in order to value the stock. It sounds simple, but yet difficult to practice. We hope we bring you this valuable message for tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for your participation. If you actually like our sharing, we do have this kind of session once in every 3 weeks or bi-weekly. So we are also thank you all of our guest speakers today for their wonderful time to sharing about this value versus growth topic. Maybe we can see you again in our next session. Okay, is any one of you has any other thing to add on? If not, then maybe we can dismiss. Daniel,
Yeah.
Aaron.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian, for us wrap up. Nothing much from my side already, and thank you, guys and girls, for precious time in coming to join us in this session. Darren, you have.
No, I think we're good. I think it's an interesting thing, and also for the benefit of our audience in the future, what we love to do as a group is to discuss about stocks, anything related about stocks. We are very, very passionate about stock analysis. We study them consistently. We've been together as a group for the past 5 years, more than 5 years actually. And on every month on a monthly basis, we will study a handful of stocks. We tear apart the entire annual report, and that's what we do. We are super passionate about stocks, and we do firmly believe that it changes life because two engines in life, like what Robert Kiyosaki says, right? It's a B and an I, there's business and an investment. So we are positioning ourselves to be someone who you know, has very deep passion to study about the I quadrant. And if you are one of those people who are interested in this, do join us, to follow us. Every bi-weekly or even 3 weeks, we will come out with a topic to discuss. If you have any topics that you are interested and would like us to discuss, feel free to drop us a comment, and we will follow up with the topics for our future discussions.
Yeah. Thank you, Darren. And maybe we have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.